Welcome. So, very welcome to yoga practice. Have any props that you may need nearby, maybe cushions or blankets. And you may need to use them, you know yourselves, your own bodies, as we work through. Okay, so beginning by lying down on your mat. Taking a moment just to settle. If it's comfortable for you to lie flat, do so. If not, if you need to bend your knees, do that. Bending your knees so the heels are out wide and the toes are in a little bit. That can be a nice position if you find your lower back is a little bit tight. And you can have the arms just alongside the body with the palms facing up. And the toe lengthening through the front of the back of the neck so it just feels comfortable. Both sides of the neck feel nice and extended. Alternatively, lie with the legs straight out, extending through both legs and allowing the feet to fall away from each other. I'm just going to spend a moment here settling, becoming aware of the meeting points between the back of your body and the floor below you. Scanning from the back of your head all the way down to the back of the body, down to the heels. Taking your time. And when you get to the heels, just scanning up through the inside of the body. Being aware of how it's feeling now through the legs, the pelvis, abdomen, chest, thoracic area, the neck, and the head. And then going down again from the top of the head over the front of the body, being aware of the expression on your face, the eyeballs, and the mouth, tongue relaxed within the mouth, the lips where they meet, the eyelids where they meet. And then scanning down the front of the body, all the way down to the toes. And then just for a couple of moments, bring your awareness to the tip of your nose and just observe the breath coming and going. Notice the temperature of the air as it enters the nostrils, the temperature of the air as it exits. Notice where in the body the breath travels to, where it comes from as it leaves, and you're not controlling, just observing. And just spend a moment or two with your breath. And as you do this, you're just bringing your mind to the here, to the now. And you're leaving aside thoughts of other things and people and commitments. And you're directing all of your attention and awareness just to your breath. Helping to anchor you to what you're doing at this moment in time. And then slowly bringing the awareness to your body again, and we're going to begin by moving. So we'll bend both knees so the soles of the feet are on the ground. And have the arms alongside the body with the palms facing in toward the thighs. And as you breathe in, stretch to the arms and stretch to the legs. And as you breathe out, bend the knees and lower the arms. And we're going to repeat that 2 more times. As you breathe in, stretch to the arms, stretch to the legs. When you're ready to breathe out, bend the knees, lower the arms. And 1 more time, and breathing in, stretching through the arms from the toes all the way up. Hold it if you can, hold the breath. If it's comfortable for you, lift the buttocks. May not be, so that's okay. And when you need to breathe out, you lower the buttocks. You lower the arms and you bend the knees. And then from there, as you breathe out, bring your right knee into your tummy. Take hold of the knee either in front of the knee or behind, whichever is comfortable for your knee. Draw that right knee down to the tummy as you breathe out. As you breathe in, stretch through the left leg. The heel can be on the ground or slightly floating, whichever is comfortable for you. And then on your next breath, if it suits your body, you lift the chest, the neck and head comes up. Alternatively, leave the head down. Toes of both feet are up to the ceiling. As you breathe in the next time, you lower the leg and you stretch out through that right leg. Take a breath in and bend both knees so the soles of the feet are on the ground. As you breathe out, bring your left knee in over the tummy, taking hold of the knee either in front or behind. Draw the left knee to the tummy as you breathe out, toes up to the ceiling. And then on your next breath, stretch to the left leg, either above or on the ground or slightly above. On your next inhalation, take the chest off the ground and looking at the big toe. You can have the eyes closed or open, ideally closed. And then as you breathe in, lower the chest, release the head and stretch out through that leg. And we're going to do that 2 more times on each side. So as you breathe in, bend both knees. As you breathe out, bring the right knee in over the tummy. Take hold of the right knee, draw the right knee to the tummy. On your next breath in, stretch through the left leg. Left heel is on the ground or slightly above. Breathing out, lift the chest. Look. And then as you breathe in, lower the chest. Release the right leg and stretch out through the leg. Breathing in, bend both knees. Breathing out, bring the left knee in over the tummy. As you breathe out, draw that left knee toward the tummy a little bit more. On your breath in, stretch out through the right leg. On your breath out, lift the chest, neck and head. And when you're ready to breathe in, you lower the chest. And as you breathe out, you extend through the leg. Breathing in, bend both knees so the soles of the feet are on the ground. Breathing out, draw the right knee to the tummy. Take hold of the right knee, either in front or behind. As you breathe out, draw the knee to the tummy. As you breathe in, stretch through the left leg. As you breathe out, lift the chest, neck and head. On your next breath in, you lower the chest. As you breathe out, stretch to that right leg. Breathing in, bend both knees so the soles of the feet are on the ground. Breathing out, bring the left knee into the tummy. Draw the left knee right down. On your next breath in, stretch to the right leg. And as you breathe out, lift the chest, neck and head. When you're ready to breathe in, you lower the chest, neck and head. And you release that left leg and stretch out through both legs. And then breathing in, bend both knees, and as you breathe out, bring both knees in over the tummy and link the hands around the knees if that suits. And you can rock here and just be aware of how that feels and where the pressure is on your back and how it varies along the length of it. And then if it suits your body, you can lift the chest, neck and head and keep drawing those knees nice and close and see what that does to the back of your body. And then place the head back down onto the ground as you breathe in. And you're going to cup the hands around the knees, pointing the fingers down to the toes. And then you're kind of making circles with your knees. And as you do so, you bring the pressure down a little bit more, or the massage, if you want to call it that. We're going 3 times one way and 3 times the other. But you're going down to the lower back, down to the buttock area. And then 3 times the other way. So making those circles as big or small as is right for you. And then you're placing the soles of the feet on the ground. Don't rush if you haven't. Do it in your own time. Take a moment to settle. Have your legs nice and wide apart, so they're further than hip width apart. And your arms a little bit away from the body. And from there, we're just going to do kind of a windshield wiper. If you imagine your knees are like windshield wipers. And you're just exploring the movement within the hip socket. So as you breathe out, you allow your knees to fall to the right, and you can leave your head where it is or turn it in the opposite direction, whichever is preferable to you. As you breathe in, come back to center, and as you breathe out, go the other way. So we're more exploring the hips than a classic spinal twist, and then you go to the right side. So you're bringing your awareness to your hips, to the insides and the outsides of your lower legs. We're going to go 5 times side to side. 3 to the right. And as you breathe out, allow the fall to the left. Breathing in, come back to center. As you breathe out, go to the right. Breathing in, come back to the center. Breathing out, fall to the left. Letting your breath determine it rather than my instruction. So on the 5th time, you just leaving your legs just there for a moment and see what it's like for them to settle down there. How does it feel for your left leg, the upper leg? How does it feel for the lower leg? And if you were to imagine that you were just trying to lift your left buttock a little bit more so that you can extend that stretch a little bit more into the inside of the left knee, how would that feel for you? Now obviously don't work through any pain in your joint, it's more getting a sense of length and stretch through the length of the body, not at one point doing too much. And then you can take your left hand up and you're leading with the thumb and bringing the arm behind you as if you're about to hand something to somebody behind you. So it's nearly like your fingers will curl slightly and the pinky will twist around. And then you can turn your head to look at your left, if that suits, and breathe. And be aware from the tips of your fingers all the way down to your toes. Bringing your awareness inward, closing the eyes if that is something that you're comfortable to do. Be aware of your toes, your inner legs, your outer legs, your pelvic area. And then as you inhale, bring the arm back down. Bring the knees back to center. And as you breathe out, you go to the other side. Might be completely different experience here, so you take a moment. What's it like for the inside of your right leg? What's it like for your left hip? And then maybe you can extend that a little bit, that you feel like, oh, I'm just stretching into the front of that right leg a little bit more. And then you can take the right hand, and it's like your hand and something to somebody behind you. Thumb leads, but then there might be a slight twist, or maybe not, in the arm itself. And then you can turn the head as well, if that suits, to look to the right. And again, you're scanning the length of the body, and you want little bits of effort from lots of places rather than one part feeling particularly stretched or sore or whatever. And have that sense that you're still stretching rather than just leaving the arm up there passively. And what's it like to breathe in this position? And then breathing in, lowering that arm. And as you breathe out, you bring the knees back to center. And you stretch out through both legs for a moment, just to give you a bit of rest. Feeling kind of evening yourself up again. And then we're going to bend both knees again. The soles of the feet are on the ground. And then bring the knees in over the tummy. And have the arms alongside the body if that suits, or you can have them out slightly out to the side, whichever you prefer. As you breathe in, you're going to stretch through your right leg. Now the back of my waist is on the ground and it's going to stay there throughout this. So if that your knee doesn't go straight, that's okay. As you breathe out, bend the knee. And we're going to go 3 times each side. Stretching up. And as you breathe out, lower. Breathing in, stretch to the right heel, toes to the face. Breathing out, lower. Breathing in, stretch to the left heel, toes to the face. Breathing out, lower the knee back down. Breathing in, extending through the knee, toes to the face. And here we go again, on this side. And then we're going to bring both legs up now. So bringing both legs up, the same thing applies. The back is solidly on the ground for the moment. Not always, but for this one it is. And then as you breathe in, bringing the arms up. And it's like you're holding something there, but your shoulders are relaxed. So sometimes to wiggle the shoulders back is nice. Stretch through the fingers, stretch through the legs. Head is looking up. Close the eyes if you can. Bringing your awareness again inward. Notice what's going on in the abdominal area, pelvic floor, the legs, the heels, the toes. Where's the stretching? Where's the effort? And where can the effort be let go? as you maintain the pose, holding it for a little bit. Particularly around the shoulders, the neck. There's not much going on, but you're stretching through the fingers. So it's like an upside down table. And then bend the knees and bring the arms around the knees. Okay. And then place the soles of the feet on the ground. And we're going to change slightly the next pose. So we're going to stretch, in this position you're going to stretch the leg up, heel toward the ceiling. And then you're going to bend your knee, keep the toes pointed toward the knee on that side throughout this. Bend the knee, bring it out to the side, bring the bony bit of your ankle to rest on the opposite thigh, on your left thigh. Okay. And from here now, this may be as far as you go with the pose. That might be a strong stretch on your thigh and on your hip and on your knee. Keep the toe pointing towards the knee if there's any pain there. And then as you breathe in, you can lift the left leg. If you want to take it further, you could come to here. First of all, it's already extending the stretch. But if you can lift that left leg, do so. So it's like there's a 7 coming towards your face. And you're keeping the knee moving away, the right knee moving away, this one's moving in. Right knee moves away, this one's moving in. After a while, that might be you. Or you might be able to take your hands without straining the shoulders or any effort to the thighs. Now, if you're not able to do that without kind of creating loads of tension in the shoulders, don't. You can leave them here. Okay, and then as you breathe in, stretch through your left leg, if that suits. Again, it's personal choice, or your body decides, not your brain. As you breathe in, draw the knee in. As you breathe out, you're encouraging the right knee a little bit away from the face. As you're breathing in, drawing that right knee a little bit in. As you breathe out, you're drawing the right knee away from the face. And hold that a little bit, see what it feels like. And then we're going to bend that knee. Lower back down and stretch the leg away so that you can easily just slide that leg down without any feeling of strain on the knee. Bend both knees again. Stretch the left leg up to the ceiling, heel toward the ceiling, toe to the face. Bend the knee. A bony bit of the ankle rests on the thigh. Knee is out to the side like a backward 7. Okay, that might be you. There's a fair bit going on there anyhow. Or you might take a little bit further where you lift that foot off the ground, see what that feels like. This one gets a bit more active, draw the heel in a little bit more. Listening to your joints, never working through any pain in it. If it's easy to do this without creating loads of strain, do. If not, there's no hassle, that's you, just use your leg, the strength of your leg. But sometimes it can be nice to bring the hands here to get that sense of even what's going on in your leg. As you breathe in, stretch up to the right heel if that suits. It's perfectly fine to do it that way or stretch up. As you breathe out, you draw that knee in. And breathe in here for a little bit. So Supta Padangusthasana, eye of the needle. Draw a little bit more. And what's it like on the left side? What's it like on the right side? What's going on in the pelvis? Close the eyes if you can. What's going on in your arms? Are they getting really stressed? And would it be better just to let them rest back a little bit and let the legs do the work? Bend the knee, lower the arm back down. We're going to do side to side one more time so that you have a bit more of a feeling. So if you need to stretch out first, do, because it's quite deep flexion in the legs or in the front of the hips if you're not used to it. And we spend a lot of time, of course, sitting down in that kind of flexed, lazy position. Now we're actively doing it. Stretch through the heel, bony bit of the ankle on the thigh. Lift the left leg. If it's appropriate, bring the hands to the thigh. Encourage the right knee a little bit away from the face. Toes are pointing to the knee. Stretch through the leg. Breathe. As you breathe in, draw the knee in. It can be in an in-breath or out-breath. It just kind of helps to coordinate it. As you breathe out, encourage the right knee away from the face. Breathing in, can that leg come in a little bit more? Breathing out, can they right? And see what that feels like for you. So you have a lovely extension through the left leg, an external rotation on your right knee, or not, hip, upper leg. And then slowly bend the knee and lower back down. Slide the foot forward and uncross the leg. And then bend the knee, and we're going to go to do the same thing again. Stretching through the left leg. Left heel goes to the ceiling, toes to the face. So that in itself can be just lovely. And then you can bring that bony bit of the ankle to the thigh, toes go to the face. Stepping up, taking it a bit here. If it's comfortable, bring the hands, stretching up through the leg. With each breath, draw the knee in, or the foot in. It can either be bent or straight. As you breathe out, encourage the left knee away. Breathing in. Breathing in. Drawing the knee in, breathing out, encouraging the left knee away. And holding it, kind of working with it as you're in it. So you're pushing through that heel a little bit more, toe to the face, encouraging the left knee away from the face. And then bend the knee. Lower the foot, slide the foot out and slide the other one down and uncross. And just allow the legs just to rest for a moment. And then we're going to take it a little bit further in this lying down position, or a different position. When I say take it a little bit further, we're going to do something else lying down. Again, bring the knees in over the tummy. Bring the hands behind the head. So you're linking the fingers behind the head, the elbows are wide, and they're going to remain there, or they're going to remain wide. They're there to support your head as we go on to it. The area behind my belly button, as in this part of my spine, is on the ground, and it will remain so throughout the next little bit. So that when you extend your legs up in a moment, you don't feel that they're falling forward and creating any strain on the back. So as you breathe in, you're stretching up through the legs as is appropriate for you. So it could be here or it could be here. Okay. But you need to listen to your lower back, determines that. You want to keep the lower back on the mat. Okay, so we'll work with the breath. As you breathe in, you're stretching through the heels. As you breathe out, you draw the navel back to the spine and kind of pull up from the pubic bone, and you lift the chest, supporting the head with the hands, but keeping the elbows wide. You're not pulling on the head. Breathing in, lower the head, release the tummy muscles. As you breathe out, draw the knees back down to the tummy. I'm going to do that 4 more times. Breathing in, stretch to the legs as is appropriate. Breathing out, draw the navel back, lift the chest, support the head. When you're ready to breathe in, you lower the chest. As you breathe out, you bring the knees to the tummy. And again, number 3. Lower the chest. Bend the knees in over the tummy. Breathing in, stretch the legs up. Breathing out, draw the navel back, lift the chest, support the head. Breathing in, lower the chest back down. As you breathe out, bend the knees in over the tummy and relax. Take a break in between if you need to, but on the next one, breathing in, stretch the heels up. As you breathe out, draw the navel back, lift the chest, neck and head. And when you're ready to breathe in, lower the chest. As you breathe out, draw the knees to the tummy. And place the soles of the feet back down onto the ground. And from here, you can stretch out through both legs. Place the hands back down onto the abdomen. And as you breathe in, it's like you can send your breath down there. Now, for some people, it's perfectly natural to feel the belly going up and down. They don't even have to think about it. Their belly just goes up and down as they breathe. For other people, for various reasons, it may not. So, even if you don't feel your hands moving up and down now, imagine that it's happening. So as you breathe in and your diaphragm descends down into the abdomen, the pressure causes the belly to rise a little bit, or maybe out to the side, so it can move 3 dimensions. But you're just allowing the breath to arrive, or the mechanics of the breath to arrive down into the belly. As you breathe in, it rises. As you breathe out, it falls. And it's more that you're inviting the breath to expand those muscles that were contracting a couple of minutes ago as you lifted your chest and kept the legs in the air. You're bringing a bit of release in there. This exercise can be also very nice to do with the knees bent, resting toward each other, heels out to the side and the toes in. and then send the belly down. And in that case, you're kind of bringing probably a little bit more softness into the abdominal area. So try it both ways. You just spend a moment or two reducing any tension that might have built up there through the action of lifting the chest. So my knees and my thighs are resting against each other, my heels are wide, my toes are pointing in. And my hands are resting on the abdomen. And then from there, I'm going to bring the legs and feet together. I'm going to bring the left hand over the chest, bring the right hand out to the side and roll right over onto your right side. Use your left hand to push up and come to sit up. And find a comfortable position to sit in. So that could be with your cushion or your block or whatever you have at home. It doesn't have to be any of these highfalutin yoga things. And you can come up if you are on a block or a cushion, and then you can cross the legs. Now if it's uncomfortable for you to sit there with your legs crossed, it feels as if they're way up here, sometimes just having a block underneath each thigh can be appropriate. And it just helps the leg to relax. It could be two thighs or two blocks. And indeed you could be sitting on, a nice high stool, if that felt better. If your knees were way up and you felt your lower back was rolling back and very rounded. So you kind of just want to sit so that you're sitting with your, rather than like that you're sitting nice and straight. As if you're in the standing position but you just sat down, if you understand what I mean. So, there can be. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. And then from there we'll just begin to bring our awareness to the shoulders. So nice, bringing your awareness then to your shoulders. You can have the eyes open or closed, but just bring your awareness to your right shoulder to begin with. And as you breathe in, bring that right shoulder, the hand is kind of free and not doing anything. Shoulder up to the ear, bring it back and down. And we're going to do, breathing in, bring the shoulder up, back and down. And all your awareness is just on this shoulder. We're going to do it 5 times on this shoulder. Bringing the shoulder up, bringing it back and down. And one last time, shoulder up. Head kind of wants to get involved sometimes, but try and just let it just look forward. And then let that shoulder rest and be aware of the difference from side to side. And then you're going to the other side as you draw your shoulder up. Bring it back and down. Bringing it forward as you breathe in. Bringing the shoulder up, back and down as far as possible. Like leave your head and your jaw and your neck out. Now there's always going to be a little bit of conversation going on between them, but you're more concentrating 5 times on this side. I'm lifting the collarbone, the shoulder blade, and the arm just follows because it's in the same socket. And it's worth doing them individually because you will find for most people this is a difference from side to side. When you have the 5 done on that side, we're going back over to our right shoulder, and this time you're bringing the shoulder up to the ear, bringing it forward and down and back. Now you don't push past your limit, you're really exploring. I do these quite a lot, so maybe my shoulder might move more than yours, that's no problem. You find what's right for you. Close the eyes sometimes and just picture the circle happening, rather than trying to achieve a picture, if you understand what I mean. You're exploring where you are, you're accepting where your body's at, and you're seeing, okay, if I do this, how does it feel? I'm not working through pain, but I'm just seeing, can I ease out any tension that might be there? And you have 5 done on that side, then you go to the other side, you bring the shoulder up to the ear, you bring the shoulder forward. You may find that one is much more mobile than the other. It doesn't mean better or worse, it just means more mobile. You might find that you have more communication with one side than the other. Again, that's just the way it is. Because while we want mobility in the shoulders, we also need strength. And you're going 5 times in this direction. Sometimes I lose my own count here, so you keep your own. Okay, and then let both shoulders hang. For a moment, just be aware of the difference in side to side. As you breathe out, turn your chin toward the left. Breathing in, come back to center, and then turn your chin and face toward the right. Breathing in, coming back to center. As you breathe out, we're going to now take a moment and then break both shoulders up to the ears. So you nearly reduce the space between your shoulders and your ears. Your head kind of stayed there. As you breathe out, drop the shoulders with a big sigh. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Breathing in, drawing the shoulders up, holding them up toward the ears. That sense of kind of orangutan. As you breathe out, drop the shoulders. And one last time, breathing in, drawing the shoulders up, the whole of the architecture of the shoulders up to the ears. Hold the breath as is comfortable for you. If you can hold it a little longer, do, and then drop. Okay. Again on our shoulder. If you need to change the cross in your legs at this stage, please do. As you breathe in, push the hands away. It's like you're pushing something away. And then curl your fingers as if you're pulling a big thick rope. And draw the elbows back alongside the chest, going back as far as is comfortable for you, but a little bit, and then let the fingers fall back when you get there. And we're going to do this 4 more times. Breathing in, pushing the hands away. Curl the fingers. As you breathe out, draw the elbows back. And let the fingers fall back. Breathing in, push away. Curling the fingers. As you breathe out, drawing the elbows back as far as they'll go. Opening the front of the collarbones and let the fingers fall back. Breathing in, forward. Curl the fingers as if you're pulling. Get that sense that you are pulling rather than the fingers kind of just. And then. And one last time. I think this is the 5th time. Bend the elbow, or bend the fingers. Drawing them back, coming right back, right back, right back, right back. We're going to hold it here, and you can breathe in the posture here. Let the fingers fall back. See what it's like to breathe in this position. Now pulling cobra. And allow the head to be as relaxed as you can. Be aware if there's any tension in the jaw, trying to let go of that. Just getting that sense of the shoulder blades gliding toward each other. The kind of stretch of the front of the collarbones, from the manubrium out to the edge of the shoulders. And then place the hands down and be aware of that. So those 3 shoulder things are, if you're sitting at a desk all day, I would invite you to see them as a cup of tea and take the 3 of those out 1 at a time through the day and see how it goes for you. May help, may not. Okay, we're going to go from there to be on all fours into, we're going to do a little bit of work with cat. Coming on to all fours, and your hands are shoulder width apart, your feet are shoulder width apart, or knee width apart, hip width apart. Spread your fingers, not overly spread, but spread a little bit. And the weight is onto the thumb and the forefinger part of your hand. So that little chubby bit. You have the whole of the hand been used for weight bearing, but the majority is kind of spiraling in the way. And at the same time, you have that inner spiral in the way, you have a spiral out through your fingertips, so your fingertips are engaged as well. And see what it's like just to weight bear here on your 4 limbs. And to begin with, we're just going to do a nice little balance in cat pose. So you bring in your right leg back, your right toes are on the ground. Bring your left hand forward, left fingers are on the ground. Again, before you do anything else, just be aware what's it like now with your weight bearing. As you breathe in, lift the left leg, or the leg and the arm, so both are parallel with the ground, and breathe. And so you have that sense that you're stretching from the fingertips down to the toes. It's like they're talking to each other. You mind your standing elbow, it's not locked into the joint. If you need to bend the elbow a little bit to feel more secure, do. And you're constantly aware of how you're holding the weight in your hand. And breathe. The crown of the head is to the wall opposite you, the gaze is down. Breathe. And if, of course, you find both, it's difficult to hold both, you could just have the leg up and have your weight on both hands. That's an absolutely fine as well. And then bring that knee right down and the hand down if you've it still up. And then coming from there, again, if you find that lifting both hand and arm is difficult, just lift the leg. Bring the leg back, first of all, just to get that nice extension. The right hand forward, so the extension there. Aware of how you're holding the weight on the left leg, arm, and then lifting and breathing. And what's it like on this side? Maybe it's easier, maybe it's harder. And then lowering the hand down. And then just take a moment just to rotate the wrists in one direction and then change to the opposite direction. And we're going to go from there now into our classic kind of cat pose, where you're going into your happy cat, sad cat. We're coming on to all fours again. And beginning by bringing your awareness to your tail, so the very bottom of your spine. If you imagine you have a tail, you can imagine you're like a lemur, and your tail goes up to the ceiling as you tilt the pelvis forward. So you can see that happening there, okay? We're going to begin the process like that. You tilt the tail up, the hips come forward a little bit, the belly comes forward, and then your chest dips a little bit and your gaze is up. Now you don't overextend in any part. As you breathe out, you curl the tail under, you dome the back of the spine up to the ceiling, you allow your neck and head to hang and look toward the navel or the knees, whatever is comfortable for you. And then as you breathe in, you lift or you tilt the tail up, the pelvis comes forward, belly stretches down a little bit, chest stretches forward and your gaze is forward. And then as you breathe out, you curl the tail under, dome the back of the body up toward the ceiling, allow the neck and head to hang. You're pushing the ground away with your hands. You get that sense of lightness in the hands now as your belly draws up the way, or your back draws up the way. And then breathing in, tilting the tail, hips forward, belly forward, and then you can continue like this. Now I'm not going to you just keep going with your own breath. You determine how many times you go yourself with your own breath. It's not about speed, it's about getting that sense of articulation along the length of the spine, coordinating with the breath for you. So just keep going for a little while, tilting the tail up. Hips come forward, belly comes forward, chest comes forward, gaze is forward, without bringing an undue strain in any part of your spine. And then as you curl the tail under, doming the back of the body up to the ceiling, allowing the neck and head to hang, allowing the gaze to go toward the belly or toward the knees, whichever is right for you. And after a while, maybe you can close your eyes as you're doing this and scan up the length of the spine, all the way up. And then as you're going the other way, you're scanning back down again. Or just scan up in both directions, because sometimes it's easier to scan up in both because the movement starts at the tail and works its way up in both cases. And as you're scanning like this, just been aware, is there anywhere that you over push, that you feel is the most flexible part of your spine? And can you allow that to have a little bit of not to go so far today, to give 80%, and maybe find some movement somewhere else in your spine? So we have habits where we tend to hold most of the strain, and this is a great opportunity to look at how you might have a little bit of more mobility, maybe in the thoracic area than you thought you had. And if you explore that and let the area around the lumbar not do so much in the articulation, maybe that would be interesting. Obviously working through how it feels for you rather than through goal, if you know what I mean. Goal orientation. And then one more time, whichever one you're on, when you're finished the next out breath, just come back to a neutral position. And From there, when you're finished that, come down onto your wrists again, or lower arms again, and just rotate the wrists. And then change the direction and go in the opposite direction. And then go on to the right. And just a few times. And then maybe stretch the fingers, make a fist. Stretch the fingers, make a fist. If you prefer to do this in the knees up position, do that either. Whichever, you can be up like this and do it like that. If you want your wrists or your elbows to have a rest as well. So we're going to do another variation within the our fours cat position, where we're going to do a nice moving spinal twist, and then we'll rest into it. And I'm going to turn my orientation to face the camera. So the knees are still hip width apart, feet are hip width apart, the hands are underneath the shoulder. And you're going to take one hand, place the palm facing up the way, and as you breathe out, it's like you're handing something to somebody beside you. And your head comes down. Maybe your head comes all the way to the ground, maybe your shoulder does, or maybe it doesn't, that's fine. Come back up, and you place that hand here, down again. And then we're going to go to the other side, okay? And we're going to do it 5 times on each side. And on the 5th time, when you go to the first side, you're going to rest, okay? Or it doesn't have to be 5, it can be 3, it can be 4. Okay, as you breathe out, allowing that elbow or shoulder to come to the ground. As you breathe in, coming back, place that hand down. And your next breath, lift the left hand out something to somebody on the side, bring the elbow down, or not the shoulder down. Breathing in, bringing the arm back. Breathing in, going the opposite direction. Breathing in, coming back. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, allow the left hand to go out the way. Breathing in, coming back. Place that hand down. As you breathe out the next time, right hand behind the left. Coming back. Left behind the right. Maybe you'll find you go a little bit further each time. And this time when you bring, I think it's the 5th time now, when you bring your right behind, you're bringing the shoulder down and the head down and resting in that position. And this hand is there to give you a bit of support. The elbow is up. And breathe here it is an inverted twist. Now if you found that you're floating way up, that's fine. Just stay in the float to what's right for you. Come out of it at any stage. And then on your next inhalation, you're pressing into your left hand to push up, bringing the right hand back, and you're coming to rest. And then you're going to the other side. And you might find it's a completely different experience on this side. You can hear my voice as it changes. So when you're in this position, you're spinal twisting in the thoracic area. You can hear how the voice changes because the orientation of the diaphragm or relative to gravity changes, and your voice box and everything. So just rest in here as much as you can. And as always, scan your body when you're here and going, okay, how does this feel? Do I feel I'm collapsing to one side or the other? If I bring that arm out a little bit and bring the elbow up, do I feel a little bit more secure? That sometimes can help, because sometimes you can feel you're tilting to one side or the other. What's it like if I take a deep breath in it? And then press into the right hand as you draw the left hand back, and you come back up onto all fours into the neutral position. And then from there, we're going to take the knees, and just go back into this position. We're going to take the knees or sit bones back to the heels. Now, if it's not nice for you to take deep flexion into your knees like this, the alternative is to be here and walk the hands forward. Keep the hips above the knees and walk the hands forward. And you can get a lovely stretch that way and wiggle the hips, or the hips is appropriate for you. Or the alternative would be have the knees slightly wider if that's comfortable, and bring the sit bones back. So it's kind of a personal choice. We're just going to spend a moment or two here anyhow, in either the hare pose or the baby dog. And then walk the hands back and push up, and you can be in a seated position or up on your knees, whichever is comfortable for you. And we're just going to spend a moment, actually I'm going to maybe suggest come up onto your knees, and we're just going to rotate the hands one direction and then changing and going in the opposite direction. Okay, so we're going to go from into varying a little bit now, from going from cat into dog head down, or the mountain as it's called, depending on which tradition of yoga you're involved in. But we're going into it a slightly different way. So take each instruction as we go. So as you breathe in, we're going into our lovely beginning, going into the cat. So you're tilting the tail up, belly comes down a little bit, chest goes forward, and you look forward. You've already done this a few times today. As you breathe out, you curl the tail under, and as you do so, curl the toes under, and then lift the knees. So you kind of come into a little bit of a crouch, and the tail feels as if it's crouched. And then we're going to bring the knees back down, uncurl the toes as you breathe in, tilt the pelvis forward, the gaze is forward, nice stretch through the front of the body. As you breathe out, curl the tail under, curl the toes under, and then allow the knees just to float up toward the abdomen. Allow the neck and head to hang. Bring the knees back down. Release the toes. I'm going to do that again. Breathing in, tilt the pelvis forward, tail goes up, belly down, chest forward. And then as you breathe out, you curl the tail under, beginning the other cat, if you know what I mean. And curl the toes under at the same time, lift the knees, and then from there, if you can begin to bring your sit bones up to the ceiling. So you have that sense that the tail is curled, but you have the sense that your tailbone's going up to the ceiling, and your legs get a little bit longer as you extend a little bit through the knees. Now the knees can stay bent if that's what's appropriate for your back, or you can begin to straighten the legs one at a time maybe. Straighten the left heel down, and then bend that knee again, and then straighten the right heel down. And then bend that knee again and straighten the left heel down. And then bend that knee again and maybe stretch through both heels. Now it's not critical to have the legs straight. It's more important to keep that lovely length in your back. So sometimes even wiggling when you're here in this pose can be nice, because you explore right side, left side from your fingertips. And it does start from your fingertips and the palms of your hands all the way up. And then down to your heels and toes, if that's appropriate for your heels to be on the ground, that's fine, and breathe. Okay, take a few breaths here as you see what it's like. Again, you're in an inversion. If you need to come out at any stage, do. If you need to have the knees bent, do that as well. Okay. Breathing in, bend the knees. Bringing the knees down, in toward the belly a little bit so you have a crouch, and then slowly bringing the knees down. So a slightly alternative way to go into the dog. Uncurl the toes. Either walk the hands forward, or bring the heel, as we did earlier, or bring the heels back to the sit bones. The other way around, sit bones back to the heels. And you can come high into your fingers if you like here as well. This is a lovely position if your knees are able for it, just to take this kind of wiggle, because generally if you're sitting all day you might lean more to one side than the other, so it can be a great opportunity to explore stretching one side or the other. Your one side is dominant in terms of carrying things or sitting and leaning. Okay, if your shoulders are sore, you can just bring the hands into here and rest in this position and wiggle that way. And then from there we're going to come back up onto all fours. One more time we're going to do that pose, and we're going to hold it a little longer, just to build a bit of strength in the arms. As you tilt the tail up, hips forward, chest belly forward, looking forward. As you breathe out, you curl the tail under. Bring the toes under at the same time. Lift the knees, and then bringing the sit bones up toward the ceiling. The knees can be straight or bent as you see fit. You can work again through one leg, then work through the other. It's nice to do this each time because there's probably a difference from each side. And then maybe you'll put the two down. Now this is kind of, you're going with what feels right for you. You might need to keep the knees bent and just get that lovely long back. You don't want to end up with straight legs and then your back going like this. You want to kind of keep, the idea is to get a lovely long, both sides of body, left side, right side on your back, and breathe. And even be aware of your right foot, your left foot, your right hand, your left hand, right shoulder, left hand. If you wiggle a little bit, does it bring relief on one side or the other, or does it change things? Even just lifting the hands a bit. You're feeling into it, being very aware of what's right for you. And then on your next breath, or take a few breaths in it if you like, slowly lower the knees back down and come down into the hare pose again, if that's suitable for you. Or just rest one hand in front of the other and create a fist. And rest in a kind of a variation of child pose. Or indeed rest in the forehead on the ground, hands alongside the body. And take a few moments here with your flexed spine, whichever is appropriate for you. And just breathe there for a few moments. Whichever version you're taking or you're deciding to do. And then we're going to come from there to come to standing. So stepping up. And coming to standing. I hope you can see it. Yeah. So we're going to work a little bit on balance. So to begin with, just become aware of your 2 feet, the soles of the feet on the ground. Feet are a little bit apart, toes are pointing, big toes pointing forward. Centre of the heels, just been aware of the centre of the heels on both sides, the ball of the foot and the little toe side foot on both sides. And if you close your eyes and just take a moment, how do you stand? Do you find that you're standing more dominantly on one side than the other? Do you feel more collapsed or stretched? Or how does it feel side to side? Just been aware of it. No right or wrong. Each person will be different. Sometimes even shifting from side to side is a good opportunity to explore, well, if I was to stand all on this side, or that side. Because in a moment we will be standing on one leg or the other. So at this point, if you know that you might need to have a support for you when you're balancing, have it nearby. It could be a piece of furniture, could be the wall. Make sure it's steady if you're going to rely on it. Ideally, you're just using it for a bit of information for your brain rather than for holding on to strongly. Okay, so what I mean by that is your fingertips are there and it gives you the proprioception that you need. So placing all of your weight now over onto your left foot. I'm just having to move out from my wall, so I apologise. My head is going to get ever so slightly cut off. And you're placing all your weight over to your left foot and just see what that's like. And then bring your right across your left. And as I do so, my left leg is going to bend ever so slightly because I don't want to be locked into my knee joint. I want to be able to move as I'm going to move this right leg in a few minutes. So I'm starting with that kind of sitting on the edge of a stool, sit bone sitting on the edge of a stool, tail slightly under, and one leg crossed across the other. And have the arms wide, it helps with balance. Or have something beside you, could be a chair, just resting the fingers gently or a wall. And then from there we're going to draw a lovely circle. So imagine your toe tip is a pen and you're going to just draw a circle around you from that 10 o'clock position all the way around. The left knee bends to maybe 20 to quarter, it depends on what's right for your body. And then you're coming across again. And we're going to keep doing that. We're going to do maybe
3, 4, 5 times as is right for you. My standing leg is bent. And why is it bent? Because it helps it to respond to the centre of gravity shift as my leg moves. The weight of the leg moves, a big heavy leg. And you can, after a while, when you get more used to the pose, you can kind of make it more three-dimensional where it moves up a little bit. But it's nice just to kind of have a sense of a circle. Now, if you find that, okay, I don't like to lift the foot off the ground at all, you can have the toe tracing along the ground. And when you have whatever one you're on now, because each person will be different depending on their breath, depending on how they move. But the next time you bring one leg across the other, your right leg across your left, just rest the toe on the ground. Bend the standing leg, make sure it's well bent, okay? And then we're just going to do a variation in Garudasana. Then we're going to bring our left hand over our right as you cross them in front of the chest. And you bring your hands back, and it's nearly like you have a little beak here, and you breathe. So it's a variation on Garudasana. How's the standing leg? Is it bent? How are the tail is slightly curled? Or have you a sense that you're sitting on a ledge with your sit bones, that you're not bent forward? I should show you from the side actually. You're not bent forward. That's just in this variation. And then inhale, opening those arms, unbend the knees, uncross the legs. Close the eyes, just be aware of the difference from side to side. And then shift your weight over to your right foot. Okay, and the same as before, you bend that right knee slightly, bring the left across the right as if you're going to, could be 10 past, could be quarter past. So you're trying to, the hips will move a little bit as well, but you're mainly trying to get the movement within the hip socket as opposed to the pelvis moving as well. But it'll move a little bit, if it does, that's fine. Bring the arms out wide. If they're up here, that's going to create strain, so just have them maybe about here. Okay, that's too much for me. So we're starting then and we're bringing the leg back. And you come into wherever it'll go. You might find that you have more mobility on one side than the other or not. Okay, and you're not overly straining, particularly in the pelvis. It's more about the leg moving and drawing a circle. So don't be overdoing the movement if you feel. It's more about exploring what goes on. I can move this lovely femur, the lovely big bone of the upper leg around in the hip socket. And there's a lot of movement. You can move it up if you like. We did a lot of flexion earlier, so to a certain extent doing the nice extended ones, depending on, that's how I feel this morning anyhow. And 5 times-ish, and you can build that up. And then when you bring the leg across this time, I think it's approximately 5, you bend the knee, okay? Get a feeling for what you're like there. It's like you're sitting your 2 sit bones on a ledge, so that you don't feel that you're of a real bent forward belly, that your belly is kind of falling forward. You feel that you're slightly controlled in this region here, and your back isn't feeling overly stretched, tilted forward. So depending, for different people that'll mean different things. So again, that you're sitting on the edge of a stool, maybe, or a table. And then you take your hands out, and you're bringing your right across your left as if you're giving yourself a hug. And you can walk those fingertips around as much as is comfortable for you. Maybe you feel the shoulder blades and be aware of them. It's like a little beak here. So staying in it and breathing just from the side. It's kind of like this. So what I meant is you're not like that, where you're tilting very deeply into your lordosis. You have it's a little bit of curvature, but it's controlled. So there's a slight activity going on. For some people, it'll be you nearly be like that. So you want to find a neutral pelvis, which feels right, and breathe. So sometimes don't overthink it. See what does it feel like if I do this? What does it feel like if I do that? Is there somewhere in between that I can find? A bit like when you're going into one version of cat, then you're going into the domed back, and you find neutral in between. So when we over tilt forward, we're not using the lovely strength of the back of the legs, and that's what you want to be doing as well. And then inhale, open the arms, straighten the legs, close the eyes, become aware of how both legs feel. Separate the legs a little bit. And we're going to come into Uttanasana, forward bend. Now if you know that your back is a little bit delicate for forward bends and you're not fond of them, you can have a wall nearby, have the hands against the wall and just walk your legs out, hip width apart, and find a position that's right for you. So you don't want your hands way down here. That actually could be right for you, but generally start with your hands higher than your shoulders and just get that sense that your neck and head is in line with your arms and you're sending your sit bones back. You're sending your sit bones back. And there's a little bit of drawing up possibly at the front of the abdominal area as well. And you're breathing. Okay, that's a variation. Not quite Uttanasana, but it might be an alternative pose for you to see. Then place the hands on the knees. Those of you who are going the other way, feet are hip width apart. Bring the belly down onto the thighs. Okay, allow your neck and head to hang. That might be as far as you go. Abdominal areas resting on the thighs. Bring the hands down. And you can either take hold of the inside of the big toe with the long finger and the forefinger, and the thumb comes on the outside and you let your head hang. And that could be you. You can also take hold of the opposite elbow if you prefer. So there are your two alternatives. Your knees are strongly bent. Now you can have your buttocks against a wall if you found this is too strong on your legs. And then as you breathe in, you start to bring up. If it's comfortable for you, you can straighten the legs. There's still contact between the abdomen and the thighs. So you're not overdoing it. There's still, you get the sense that your upper body is supported by your lower body. And breathe and rest in Uttanasana. And the legs might shake a little bit. That's fine as long as there's no pain in the lower back, no pain in the hips. How are you falling forward onto your toes? Or are you shifted back onto your heels? Or are you somewhere in between? Feel around at that. One leg taking more effort than the other. Rest in here for a few breaths. In Uttanasana, or variations of. And then after a little while, you can stay as long as you like, but you can lower the buttocks and bend the knees. Walk the hands to the knees. Bring the head up slowly in line with the chest, and your chest comes forward as well. It's nearly like you're sitting down to a toilet and then pushing up to come up to standing. Now if you know that your back is able for it, you can obviously roll up like a rag doll. That's personal preference. Can't make assumptions that everybody will be able to do it. So, and from there, you're going to come to lie down for your practice of Yoga Nidra, which I've sent out in previous aural recordings. Have a lovely practice. Gather your blankets, make yourself comfortable, and have a lovely week. Thank you for coming along today.